I got another confession to make. I'm no fool. Everyone's got the chains to break. Only you. Were you born to resist or be abused? Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? Someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you. All the Okay, so The Best of You by the Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters, is it the Foo Fighters or just Foo Fighters? I don't know. Start a debate in the comments. Alright, so the song's in standard tuning. First chord is kind of this C minor thing. So basically what you're doing, you got your ring finger on the 4 on the A, pointer finger's going 2 on the D, pinky goes 4 on the G. Okay, and then you're gonna mute your big E string. I use my middle finger, but you can use like the top of your ring finger while you're pushing down on string under it, or if you're versed in playing, you know, you can wrap your thumb around and mute it like that, or however you want to do it. But then also let your B and E strings ring out on top of that chord too, so you're hitting all 6 strings, but you're only hearing sound from 5. So, and so you're gonna do 8 downstrokes, accent every third note beginning on the 1, if that makes sense to you. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's kind of how he plays that. I don't get super caught up on strumming patterns. I know like every instructor on YouTube is like, you know, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And it's like overkill. It's annoying. So, but that's how Dave Grohl plays that. It's just a bunch of downstrokes. 2 measures of 8 downstrokes accented on the 3rd. And then, so that's like a C minor thing, that chord right there. So the next chord is kind of almost like an A sus. It has the same sound as like an A sus. That's an A sus. That's the chord we're playing. So where you were at with that C, 4, 2, 4, just pick up your ring finger and still mute that top E string. Everything else is the same. Just pick up your ring finger, and then same thing, accent, same notes, and same, just twice through 2 measures. Alright, so stack those together and play through that whole thing twice. So you're playing 4 measures, each of those twice. So we're going to sound like... come to this B power chord kind of shape. And if you don't know what a power chord is, welcome to Rock and Roll 101. So I'm going to take my pointer finger on the 2nd fret on the A string, ring finger goes 3 on the D, and pinky goes 4 on the G. And same thing, I'm going to probably just use either that finger, my pointer finger, to mute, or you can use that, however you want to do it. Just make sure you kill the sound out of that big E string, and you're still letting the 2 bottom strings, the E and B and E, ring out. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. Anyway, so there's the B, and then basically, you play through that whole thing twice, and then you add in the B chord, and then back to that A. So 2 measures through each of those that time. So now all together we got. So now you're going to come back to that C, and you're going to go 1 measure through the C, go back to the B, 1 measure, and then 2 measures on the A. And you're going to do that 3 times. Okay, so we're going to play through that whole thing. So he's like, I got another confession to make. I'm no fool. Everyone's got their chains to break. Holding you. One reason used to be you. Someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you. Someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you. Let's start all over. So he, I don't know. That song's not written to where it's like a verse and a chorus and a verse and a chorus. It's written just kind of, it's all over the place. So for the structure of the song, just go listen to the song. I'm not going to get too technical on all of that. But that is pretty much the entirety of the song, with the exception of a couple of lead licks and so like that's the intro, and then so as he comes back in, it takes somewhat of the same shape. There's a couple of parts that are longer and a couple of parts are shorter. So like I said, just go listen to that. But once he gets back into that part where you kind of feel like you're walking down the chords, instead of, well, I'll just show you. So you went, someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you. Okay, and so you stay on that A chord for 2 measures. So now instead of doing that, you're going to come into this new chord as an F. So it's an F sharp major, like a variation of an F sharp major. So top 4 notes of an F sharp major. So pointer fingers 2 on the E, ring fingers 4 on the A, pinkies 4 on the D, and my middle finger's coming in at 3 on the G. And then you're letting the 2 bottom strings ring still, so you get, sounds kind of funky on its own, but when you throw it into that mix, like the song, you know, sounds good. Dave Grohl's a pretty smart dude on guitar, I guess. But so you do that, and then there's a lead ride on top of that, and you're playing back to your power chords here. So this is actually just like, it's like a power chord, but you're playing just the octaves in the power chord, which if you don't know what an octave is basically, there's essentially only 12 notes in music, but I mean, look how many notes I have on this guitar. Well, that's because like there's a whole bunch of different E notes on here, there's a whole bunch of different A's on here. They're just octaves apart. So like this is a D, and this is a D, and this is a D. You know what I mean? So I don't know, it's just the way it works. So the octaves in that power chord, that's what you're using. So you're going 5 on the A and 7 on the G. And basically, you're also, with like the bottom of your pointer finger here, you're gonna mute that D string. So, and I'm muting all the strings on the guitar with my fingers. I don't know. Learning how to mute with this hand is I think pretty essential to at least sounding like you got like a big sound coming out of your guitar, because instead of just like, you know, rather than just picking those 2 notes, you can, it just makes it sound chunkier, you know, like there's more substance to whatever you're playing or something. But anyway, so you can play down here with your pinky or your ring finger. I switch back and forth, just whatever I feel like. And you're gonna play on the 5 and the 7 right there. So 8 downstrokes, and then you slide up 2 frets to the 7 and the 9, and then you're gonna slide up 1 fret to, what is that, the 8 and the 10, I guess, yeah. And then all the way up to the 10 and the 12. Okay, so he's playing that. He's going. Nope. So while Dave Grohl's playing that, the lead rides. So, you know. But anyway, that's pretty much the whole song, except for there's a part also in the middle and at the end where the only thing that's different is just the strumming pattern. So, and also well, yeah, the strumming, oh man, I'm messing this whole video up. The strumming pattern's different when he goes into someone get in the bass. He goes from accenting like every third to accenting every second note. Alright, so he kind of plays it that way, and then after that, and at the end of the song, back on the C chord, there's a couple of parts in there where he's just beating the crap out of that C chord. And so he's just like, alright, and that's just that C chord and the very first chord of the song that we started with, but also I'm not letting anything else ring out, so I'm muting all of the strings except for the strings I'm actually pushing down. So those are the only 3 notes that I'm even playing, and everything else is getting muted out by, I'm just laying my fingers over it. That's it. That's Best of You by the Foo Fighters. That's all I got. So anyway, do all that fancy liking, commenting, and subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it, and I hope you all have a great day. See you again.